Ladies and gentlemen, we are back and ready for our next series. I mean, almost ready. We have the bands, we don't have the map pick yet, but we can still show you some of the details. We have, currently, I was panicking a second, wondering where that sound was coming from, but it's the in-game music. We have, as you can see here, oh dear. Hang on, let me fix that name there that is currently drifting, you might say.
Oh my god.
Off of the nameplate. There we go.
Nobody encourage him. He's just going to keep doing it if you do.
No one saw anything. So as you can see here, we have our bands, but we do not have our pick yet. This screen will be updated when we have the picks. We are going to be jumping into our second series of the day. It is still Division D East. Feels good. But we are jumping in with ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush versus I Must Feed. Now there are multiple ProBUs teams. Does that mean we want to call them ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush, or do we want to call them Cannon Rush, or just ProBUs? What are we calling them?
I'm trying to think of something. I mean, ProBUs Drift is fine. If we want to be spicy, we could do PBDCR or PDCR, Cannon Rush. Well, you'll probably hear a mixed match of those things evening. Just know that's who we're talking about. A little bit of stats as we get set for our first match, which I'm super excited about. It looks like for D East, ProBUs Cannon Rush is sitting in 13th right now, and I Must Feed is just a little bit higher at, or maybe they're low. I don't see them on here. That doesn't mean they're not. Darn. Well, I wanted some stats for you.
I Must Feed. I believe they're number 8.
They are number 8. I can't read. All right. So we have the 13th seed versus the 8th seed this evening. There we go. Super excited. After last game, I'm not as hesitant to go into this because it's just coming down to split-second decisions for the sides of both teams. You know, sometimes they make a big play that doesn't quite work out, and vice versa. Sometimes they take the crazy play and they do get exactly what they wanted. So I'm excited despite what the numbers show.
It should be good, considering, like you said, the last map was good. Yep, Chaos Tank helping me out as well. Thank you to Miles for helping me with the bands too. They've asked what my favorite ice cream flavor is. I am letting them know that it is chocolate/peanut. Feels good. Alrighty, so as you can see on your screens right now, the map has been chosen, and it is Volskaya Foundry. Hey, JC, what's your favorite ice cream?
My favorite ice cream,
Favorite flavor?
Favorite flavor, oh gosh. It's probably Rocky Road. That's the one that I go with most of the time, unless they have some weird flavor, like we got that unicorn sprinkle ice cream from Walmart the other day, and I loved it because it had frosting in it.
It's apparently, it is pronounced ProBUs. I missed the capital U. So it is ProBUs.
Oh man, by 2 people. Feels bad.
Yep, double call out. You're right. You're right. It is ProBUs. Thank you very much for the information. Feels good. The logos aren't right. Ah, nuts. I knew I missed something. All right. All right, well, I'm going to jump it back to us and fix these logos while we get ready to head in. Nuts. I fixed everything except for that. Feels bad, man.
We were super busy while we were doing the stuff. We had to run, use the restroom, refill drinks. My sister came in earlier to give me an enclosure I had to throw a snake into super quick, which I was super nervous about because I don't know if you were here earlier, but it basically yeeted itself at Tetcher's face earlier today. And he was so scared of it, which I just want to laugh at because it was like not even this thick.
It's a snake, dude. It's natural to be scared of.
Its teeth can't break your skin. They're too little.
There you go. I fixed the logos. Hope you're happy. Feels good. Looks like the teams are ready. Ew, well, the teams aren't ready because they didn't set the draft to actually draft. Instead, they're in quick match mode. Feels bad, but they'll set that up. Again, as you can see here, ProBUs are going for first pick, and this was a map choice by I Must Feed. They're setting that up. Come on, first team. Come on, come on. Okay, well, I think we might be resetting this draft, because if I'm not mistaken, the first pick goes over to ProBUs. Either way,
ProBUs.
They'll work it out. ProBUs, thank you very much. Either way, we'll jump to the draft screen and see if they cancel it or not, because maybe I am remembering incorrectly. We're going to jump over to that and head into game number 1.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary friends. Kael'thas was the first ban, as I'm sure you heard during that little promo. Raynor going to be the second ban for the side of I Must Feed, or the first ban, I guess, second ban of the night. Getting early range DPS out, it's really interesting to see because most of the time we see tank and off-lane priorities with the Zuls, with the Johannas, the ETCs. So the teams are just going, I'm not sure if this is respect bans or they just don't want to play against these heroes. I say good, get them out. We do see the Zul come out, very standard. I'm surprised they banned it with the first pick. Maybe something for I Must Feed to note, showing that if they're going to ban it, they have no intention of playing it.
There is also something that I've heard referred to by me as the gold Kael'thas phenomenon, and that is at any rank below gold, Kael'thas is ban-worthy. And even at platinum, he starts to fall out of bans, but still gets them, and once you hit diamond, he's kind of ignored most of the time. And that's just kind of the case, because a lot of people are less experienced with the sidesteps on that. Johanna, though, a hero who is universally good no matter what the rank.
Definitely. Johanna is one of those heroes that nobody ever says, I wish we didn't have a Johanna on our team. She's just all around a good hero. That variant banned out, the only hero that could be considered her counter, which I think is complete nonsense. Over on the side of I Must Feed, we have Mal'Ganis coming out and the Greymane, two really solid S tier pickups for Volskaya Foundry. Excited to see what they can do with him, Tetcher.
I mean, this is so far we've had Kael'thas Can't Spell picking Kael'thas and I Must Feed picking Mal'Ganis. It's already going pretty well for me, potential. If we see a ProBUs, this is going to be a good day. We're seeing Li Ming and Lucio.
Strong pickups to help skirt around the Mal'Ganis, prevent him from being able to sleep you if he can't catch you. Same with the stuns. Bans coming out. We should see maybe an off-lane ban, another range ban from the side of I Must Feed. And as far as ProBUs, I'm saying healer, if I had to guess. There's going to be a Leoric. They don't want to deal with that Entomb.
Leoric taken out. Now we have the ban of ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush. What are we going to see from them? With Mal'Ganis on the board, I'd say maybe a Blaze. You really do need a second frontliner to fill out that hard CC role, as Mal'Ganis is more of a disruption tank. So seeing a Blaze or something like that might be good. If not, we'll go all in on damage, pick up Sonya or someone like that. They're going to ban out the Anduin, just remove that healer pool.
I was kind of hoping they'd ban Rehgar away with the Bloodlust phenomena. Mal'Ganis and Greymane do benefit really well from Bloodlust. It is going to be an on-off for the side of this team, though. And a Chromie. Nano Chromie. You hate to play against it.
It's a good map for it as well. Volskaya is a fantastic Chromie map. You know where the opponents are a lot of the time, so you get that great siege potential. And Nano Greymane isn't as good as Chromie, obviously, but it's nothing to sniff at. And of course, if you want maximum memes, Blind as a Bat to Nano Boost Mal'Ganis. If you want maximum memeage, that is a potential pickup for you.
Oh, okay.
Sylvanas Chen.
Ooh, I like the Chen. This is the first Chen I've seen in NGS. It was banned out in Heroic Division because one of the players was just a Chen master. What counter picks into the Chen? They have the pick matchup if they so choose. Is it going to be a comfort? Something that just works well for the player?
More CC. Leoric is good, but he's removed. Deathwing is how you counter Chen. How do you deal with a drunk panda? Big-ass dragon, apparently.
You know, I was going to say, when you were touching on the Mal'Ganis Nano Boost with the Blind as a Bat, that's a counter that we use to deal with Deathwing. Since it's on the same team, you know, like, doesn't have to worry about that. Lucky him.
That is true. So, Deathwing as the final pickup, sneaking through the draft. This is a Division D East game as we are loading in, ladies and gentlemen, to our game number 1 of our best of 3 series here in Division D East. And so far, in terms of stability, the easier draft to execute is definitely ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush. However, in terms of devastating rolling potential, I Must Feed is pretty terrifying.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. We do see in the chat that Badger Lord is a Chen master. Excited to see what they can do on that hero. And it looks like we're hopping into the game.
On the left-hand side, it is going to be ProBUs Drift Cannon, and you can barely see the word rush there, but it is there. ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush on the left-hand side, in the blue, with Aruba on Sylvanas Desada. Desda, by a mistake, playing the Lucio. Hirobi playing on the Li Ming. Chaos Tank on the Johanna. That's appropriate. Love it. And Badger Lord playing on the Chen. One black and white mammal to another.
And over on the right-hand side, we have Miles rocking that Greymane. They're running so fast. John Goodman on that Mal'Ganis. Night on the Ana. Sudden Bears on the Deathwing, which is a fantastic name. And Lister Fiend is the Chromie.
Oh my god. Imagine you're rolling in with a username as Sudden Bears. And then you're just like, yeah, my name's Creative. And then someone just rolls in with John Goodman. You're like, oh, okay. I guess that's the level we're at today.
Sudden Bears is going in, trying to get a little bit of damage off.
Gonna be an Unfurling Shadows game. Good to see. We haven't seen that in ages, but they're losing percentage damage on level 1 against the Deathwing.
That's definitely true. Actually, it's against slowed targets, so it's smart not to go that talent.
Oh, really?
Yes, because Deathwing cannot be slowed.
I thought it only slowed the targets. I thought the percentage damage was against 3
nope,
stacks.
It's against slowed targets with 3 stacks.
Wow, okay.
So,
I didn't know that.
As somebody who's learned the hard way, that's the only reason that I know. We're going to see the teams just trying to clear the best they can. Li Ming left to clear. You hate to see it. Ooh, gonna take a couple of those chromie shots. Has to back away from that XP.
Knight has been the one focusing the camp. Finally, Miles will come down and help. And they'll begin working on that. Same on the other side, but it's going to be a 3-man here. Aruba, Chaos Tank, and Desda will take that up. We're seeing Andoral Anomaly here, going for maximum time traps for the Chromie.
That should hopefully pair well with their team. They can have a lot of setup with the Mal'Ganis sleep, with the Greymane on a sleep. You can just keep somebody in one place for a really long time if you're able to hit those time traps.
So this is actually a solo lane I'm actually kind of interested in. I've never seen Deathwing versus Chen in the solo lane before. Right now it's chill, but Chen has taken 1 armor plate off of Deathwing already. Deathwing, by the way, going for the standard ranged build, which is also the standard AoE melee fire build. They synergize quite well together, and late game, it's standard massive stuns from range build on cooldown.
Oh my gosh, he's just getting
ass.
berated. Yeah, he's getting dunked on. I like the rest of the team is cool and all, but I'm down here and he's just hitting him. Like, Bears, just get in there, hit him.
Who turns out a badger stronger than a bear? Who knew? They don't exactly share many environments together that we get to see that battle very often. Just chilling. In the meantime, everyone else is 4-man rotating, which is why we've been spending so much time down here. We will see siege camps taken by both teams, but a delayed camp from the side of I Must Feed, really trying to make the most of their timings here.
Team stepping up, just trying to clear, and I definitely, I keep looking down at the Chen Deathwing. I'm like, yeah, the team is doing stuff. Let's watch this Chen kick this Deathwing's ass. Oh, buddy, you gotta change your form.
This talent really gives him maximum sustain because Chen can just walk out of the fire. But in this case, the melee is honestly his best bet to lane against him, I feel.
I would just try and put the koi pond down and then just stay back. Up into the air goes Deathwing. And it looks like the teams are starting to fight over the heal pulse.
Dueling away at the point. Objectives already started. Oh, Greymane, Miles starting on Badger Lord, but Sudden Bears from the sky.
Teams are stepping down. Nobody grabbed the heal pulse. Sylvanas and Li Ming are going to have to clean up that later camp. Neither camp getting too much value in the top lane. And now everyone is stepping to try and look at this first point of the game.
Level 7 now finally available for both teams. We're seeing Elusive Brawler going to help against the melee autos here. Blessed momentum. Maximum span. Calamity. Greymane dives deep. Badgerlord is onto Sudden Bears, forcing out here. Roby gets absolutely eaten alive, though. He's forced to get away and go all the way for the fountain. Badgerlord might have to go to the fountain as well if he lives, which he doesn't. Sniped away.
Vana setting up, trying to clear away that turret, doing a lot of damage. The poor Chen just got stuck, wasn't able to get out. They dove a little bit too deep, and as such were punished. We see Deathwing leap into the sky, try and get some of that healing back before the second fight. Unfortunately, there is going to be no second fight, as I Must Feed picks up this first protector.
There's a lot of focus on top lane by ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush, and as such, they were a little late to the objective, meaning by the time the first fight came around, it was already about 40% onto the objective. I mean, they actually had no time for the usually standard respawn and second fight like you were calling about here. In this case, getting denied by the landing Deathwing, interrupting Chen, forcing him to back up. And of course, that snipe kill, nicely done. We see a little bit of pressure being applied to the top lane. The fountain weakened, they're just sending the orb at it, and they will be able to snipe this before the second objective.
That's going to be so detrimental, as everybody knows. You want to grab that fountain, so that second objective is even harder for ProBUs. Cannon Rush. We're going to see Johanna come out. She gets onto the team. Anna taking a ton of damage, but nice sleep from John Goodman. However, they are very far in the back. Anna has to step up to heal. Chaos Tank taking a lot of damage. Has to step back. Out comes the temporal loop from Chromie. However, Hirobi able to jump out of the way, and now it's just a skirmish. Chaos Tank is so low. Finally, teams are offered some respite as I Must Feed heads down to the siege camp. Or I'm sorry, it's not siege camp, the turret.
Going to be making their way down. Turret also available for ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush. They will send Sylvanas over there, using her disable, her black arrows to actually disable that camp so that they have an easier time clearing and don't need to heal up. It is a long cooldown, but you can see from map control, they have no intention of actually fighting over any buildings for a while now. Now we once again see a trap set. Sleep just doesn't reach Chaos Tank.
Nicely done by Chaos Tank, staying just out of range. This will be a 4v5 if the team wants to try and take it, as Deathwing is here. Chen on their way up, and it looks like both teams are just trying to posture aggressively for each other. John Goodman gets a little bit of damage from Chaos Tank and the rest of the members of ProBUs.
Push forward, looking for Badgerlord. Level 10's available for both teams. We finally see Disintegrate coming in for Li Ming here. Was the only person delaying, and Burn Beneath My Shadow coming in for the Deathwing. A little bit more unusual in this case. That reset on Cataclysm, that is some confidence being shown. They've won the first objective here. But overall, with their first objective, they took down a grand total of 2 towers and 1 gate and a fountain.
That's pretty standard for the first tower, so hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more of the spicy... Ooh!
Take it out.
I was going to say the spicy Cataclysm plays, and
there it is.
So there it is! Comes in, everybody has to back out, but they got the Mal'Ganis they wanted. Chaos Tank is able to escape, and so they're just going to back up. That Cataclysm was just a nice little bonus for ProBUs Cannon Rush.
That is the epitome demonstration of cast a curse there. I was like, oh, I'd love to see some spicy Cataclysms. There it is. It did nothing.
I don't know if like the players are conspiring against me or what, but it's like anytime I say something, they either like do it in a way that makes me look silly. Wailing Arrow comes out, Night Knight taking a lot of damage. They do try to use the grenades to keep themselves alive. However, they have no self-healing, so they are going to fall. Mal'Ganis gets a nice sleep. Unfortunately, Johanna is able to step up and make sure that nothing goes any further for that fight.
I am clueless as to why they engaged that when they knew they had members in base. The enemy team wasn't showing on the map. They were 100% running into 5 members of the enemy team as 2 there. That was a bit of a misplay by I Must Feed. In this case, they were punished for it. They were punished as brutally as I expected, though, with only Anna dying.
And
could be worse.
Happy accidents, you know? Everybody's going to step up. Everyone will be up. Cataclysm up in 15 seconds for this next fight. They won't have Wheeling Arrow on the side of ProBUs. Sudden Bear is able to get that extra little bit of lane of soak. They can just jump into the sky and come down whenever they are needed. We see I Must Feed trying to get a little bit extra damage on that middle fort, and they're going to rotate down and actually steal the cannon. They know that ProBUs is on the top point, so I'm just going to go ahead and take that and try and take it with the item advantage.
A little bit of shots coming onto the fountain, and with no defense, This is ridiculous that they were able to get that so low. If this camp isn't defended, they lose that fountain, leaving them nowhere to retreat. Without an objective being taken, that would have been really rough. Deathwing gonna land pre-fight here. He wants his cooldowns up.
Teams are stepping up looking at this. It's getting very close for ProBUs. Johanna comes out with the spinning hammers. They're taking a lot of damage. They have to drop that healing pulse so early, as well as the turret. Out comes the Cataclysm across all members.
Ruba gets away from Sudden Bears, though. Is forced out of the fight, but there's a good route. Mars dropped low. Great push forward with the Carrion Swarm for huge damage numbers. And Sudden Bears picks up the kill. Lister Fiend holds the line, but everyone else goes down. Sudden Bears got good damage numbers out, but he was so separated from his team. His team just freaking died. Just focused down and blown up with no hesitation. Sylvanas distracting the Deathwing. That was a rough fight.
I'm so glad you were able to follow along in that fight, because all I could see was Badgerlord running in. I was like, oh no, they're so low. And then I realized it was a Panda Pow, and I was like, okay, it's fine. And then the fight was over.
Yeah, no, honestly, that went really, really well. The Deathwing Cataclysm was okay, but it didn't actually do anything other than separate Syl for a bit in the meantime. Like I said, Panda Pals jumping in, setting up a wonderful route. Johanna was just in the middle of it, and they just chased everyone down. And Mal'Ganis, even when Carrion Swarm, was already a body out of the fight, meaning that they had no tanks, because Carrion Swarm means that, well, Mal'Ganis can't actually CC to peel for his team. Deathwing's in the enemy backline and not even close enough to do damage, meaning no one's peeling for Greymane, no one's peeling for Ana. Chromie's Nano Boost has already expired. They get absolutely turned on here. Bottom fort, though, not going to go down. This is a solid defense from IMSB.
Really difficult to push into those members with the Greymane just chunking away. The forts, remember, now focus the objectives as opposed to the minions, and then the Deathwing just with the Flame Breath and everything else. It's really difficult to push in. That Badgerlord here in the mid, gonna rotate down to his team, see if they can't look for something while the rest of the enemy hides off vision.
Deathwing chilling, already down an armor plate, not taking to the sky yet though. He's at full health, does not need to. Needs some experience first, so he's going to focus on that bot lane as camps are being picked up. Let's have a look at the level 16 talents being picked up here for ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush. Seeing that life drain for Syl, perfect combo of Unfurling Shadows, absolutely magnificent. Holy Renewal coming in for the Johanna, and combo strikes, not enough to share this time. It's all about those baps coming in from Chen.
I mean, the Chen has been putting in a lot of work. I was kind of when it came out, but like the poor Deathwing is just being so bullied here. So those combo strikes are going to pair well with their style of play. Looking at this, pretty standard stuff. We are going to see the healing for Johanna, and it looks like everybody's just trying to keep themselves alive, so Lucio can focus onto the members that can't sustain.
Panda Pals dropped, cancelling out the temporal loop here, and as such, Badgerlord escapes here. And here's some bad news. A 16 on the side of I Must Feed. When you start picking Elementium plating, you know something's going a little rough here. You are getting a lot of damage on you because you're missing out on the stun cooldown reduction here, which is comboing with Dragon Soul and Heat Wave here. And this is where you could start to have some pretty severe issues in fights.
I know a lot of Deathwing players prefer Elementium plates with this build, but I agree. I don't think it provides the most benefit. Out comes the Cataclysm. Wheeling Arrow was dropped. Sylvanas is far away. Mal'Ganis focusing onto her. Deathwing trying to fight in the back. Out comes Cursed Bullet. Team's just trying to disengage right now. ProBUs wants nothing to do with this fight, and they're just going to let the team spend their heroics. Blast Shield did come out there as well, so it is going to be a 2-for-3 heroic trade. However, the heroics on the side of ProBUs are just a little bit shorter, so it shouldn't be too much of an inconvenience at the next point.
There's a solid disengage from ProBUs here and allowing them to turn around. Look at John Goodman here, who does not get the Carrion Swarm. Good focus there. But there's something I wanted to point out in that last fight. They did retreat and they're able to pick up a kill now, capitalizing on this. But the Elementium plating there was activated. And in this case, while they were retreating, they had the opportunity to focus that shield down and prevent exactly this happening. Sudden Bears dropping up to full armor without flight. In this case, they've given him more map control and more time on the map for value instead of actually doing some damage on the way out when they were actually all looking relatively healthy, especially with Li Ming having Diamond Skin, where she would have been able to poke relatively safely.
Hopefully, they should be able to do something on the side of I Must Feed with that extra map control, I think is the best word. We saw that ProBUs was able to pick up that bottom cannon, and they're just sitting pretty right now. They just want to hang out and wait, see what they can get done on the map. Meanwhile, Deathwing not joining the fight just yet. Gonna try and push this top lane. Look to even that experience gap a little bit.
He doesn't actually pick up a good chunk of the experience orbs here, which is a mistake, but you can see here exactly what we're talking about. Him now having that flight off cooldown means he is available for this push in if they want to contest. Level 19 just around the corner for ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush. This is where they can move in. They're waiting for minions. They want maximum push potential. They're going to move in. John Goodman, no! He's focused down. He's rolling away, though. He gets out. They're waiting for their cooldown reduction. Curse point is good, but Soundbar is going to delay the fight here. They move back onto the point. Turret with the buff from Sylvanas. Cataclysm is really well angled. Chaos Tag is body blocked in. And Sudden Bears suddenly picking it up. Miles, though, he's killed by the conveyor belt. Oh, no, Sudden Bears. It was looking so good. It was looking so good. He's left by his team.
Resets who really struggle into those, and now the team is not only going to lose a protector, but they might also lose all 5 members of the team. Hirobi chasing down Night Knight, turning for John Goodman. There is the stun to disrupt the disintegrate. They do miss the combo, so both members of the team are going to get out.
However, there is now the Protector online, going to make their way forward. That was a fantastic Cataclysm, but like you said, the one reset, Miles overextending a little bit, and the rest of the team backing up for the reposition, leaving Deathwing alone on the point. He was focused down and picked off. This was a little bit of a misplay, but it was beautifully capitalized on by ProBUs Drift here, who are now rolling in to try and grab their first keep of the game.
As the Black Arrows comes out, this should be a quick and easy keep, and we'll see if they want to try and end. Probably not, as Deathwing is alive and Chromie will be alive in just a moment. They're going to go ahead and back out, not even heading for that second keep. They're going to go the safe way, make sure that they're not going to get picked off as they rotate around. Nicely done. See Li Ming and Lucio, the squishiest members of the team, just trying to stay in. The Wailing Arrow does go out, not hit anybody, unfortunately.
Focus is good, but survives. Backs away here. Everything is fine for the moment. And everyone will pull back. Johanna respawning. Everyone from both teams is available. Open keep. No keep. This is a good job by ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush, but they aren't at lethal yet. They pull back, they play safe, and they look for stuff to do on the map. Siege Giants up, healing camp is up, the support camp. They're going to grab their turret camp now, which just came off cooldown. They're just trying to gain any value they can, but the longer this takes, they must feed. Creep towards that level 20.
Level 20 for ProBUs Cannon Rush, so they're just going to go ahead and take this. They know their opponent shouldn't fight them, and the opponent does not, so they're just going to go ahead and pick this up. Now, if I had to guess, they're going to look for that heal pulse and come in with a really huge item advantage for this next protector. I Must Feed, they have to find level 20, need to soak all 3 lanes, and then look for a way to get them to spend those items before the next engage. They need to do something here. They can't just sit around and wait.
Healing camp. The support biotic emitter is picked up here. Move on to their siege. This is just very relaxed by ProBUs Drift. They're in the driver's seat, but there finally is that level 20. Some of the talents we're pointing out here, House Party, not going for the extra burst healing. They don't want to lose that duration here, especially against the Deathwing, who's gone for Stood in the Fire. What a talent here, 40% slow and a 50% extra duration here. Time trap on 3 members, but very quick disengage. That's unfortunate.
Oof.
That feels
a little
bad.
bit too late. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Now the Cataclysm will be down unless they can get a fort. So far, Deathwing has gotten no value from their level 10. All 6 forts are still standing for the side of ProBUs Cannon Rush, or Cannon Drift.
They're going
Cannon
to move
Rush?
forward. ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush. It's a long name.
Yeah!
It is a problem. It is hard to do, as we're going to see them move in. If they get this fort, this can be value. But there's so much pressure on the map, and of course, ProBUs Drift have no issue just matching them wherever they go and chasing them across the map because they have control. They know the enemy's heroics are up. I'm kind of surprised they aren't engaging while Cataclysm is down, since they are even like that. But they're pretty chill right now. they're in no rush and probably just don't want to feed before the next objective that they can use to end the game.
Right now for ProBUs, the fight is 50-50, the map is 90-10. If they just sit back and let the minions push and just clear where they can, they've already won the game. It's up to the side of I Must Feed to make a play. And it looks like they're actually going to wait. Nice on down.
They focus down Miles, who's going to be taken out. Leaving resets. The bat saved John Goodman, but Listerfeed, he thought he was safe, and he's focused down. Temporal Flux. Not enough to finish the job, though. Sudden Bears, he just shifted. He transformed mid-fight to get those stuns out, and it does save the day here. But now, there's 5 members pushing in. They're going to grab another keep with 2 members down. Do they go further?
With 2 members down, like you said, the Greymane has been completely destroyed. Ana is nowhere near, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and step back for this Protector, not wanting to risk ending the game just yet. Chromie and Deathwing still do a lot of damage, and Morganas is just disruptive enough to make it a real heck of a problem. So they're just going to go ahead, pick up more items. Both turret camps are up. At this point, everybody should have an item.
Everyone except for Badger Lord, and that is about to change. This is about to be a 5-man item team. They're going to pick that up. That is 1 Healing Pulse and 4 turrets. Firing squad with, as a reminder, Mercenary Queen from Sylvanas. This is going to hurt, dude.
But
they
really
can't
don't
fight
even need
this.
to play anymore. They could just put all their turrets down and then, you know, go have a chat by the cooler.
Put them at core and just let the turrets end the game. It's possible they could do it here. Sylvanas, by the way, up to 120 stacks of Unfurling Shadows, which is pretty good. Not bad here. Fires to scout there. Nicely job. Chaos Tank gets eaten here. Lucio healing up, though. Rejuvenacia is taken. Turret 1.
Oh, the time trap never stood a chance. Morganas and Greymane getting chunked away.
Turret 2 is down. Johanna being focused here. Sound Barrier comes out. They focus it down. Badger Lord is dropped, though. He doesn't get the Panda Pals out this time, but Bless Shield. Miles is eaten alive, but he lives. The Protector, though, is available, but this time the fight is a disaster. The turrets are holding. Here comes Cataclysm onto the Protector. Lucio escapes into the Protector here. All the turrets were used. And they're going to try and just run this in. Even though they're 2 people down, they want this keep. Wait, oh, they're actually going for core? With 2 members down, they're going to try and end with this Protector?
It is 70% on the core, so they're going to see what they can do. They better play it safely, though, because if they get too low, they might just end up dying and staggering the deaths, giving I Must Feed a chance. However, there's so much on the core. This Protector hits like a truck. 23%, 15%, 12%. It goes down. Yeah, it took the words right out of my mouth. Game number 1 going to ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush.
That was a little scary looking there for a second. The Protector going down. If they'd done that, you could see they were saving some of their big CCs to try and turn that round into their favor. But in this case, does not work out. ProBUs Drift able to march it in. Yeah, Protector's pretty good late game, and like you said, 70% of the core completely missed the catapults, dropping it that low. Nicely done.
Great job by ProBUs Drift, and this is why I don't like to go by the seeding, because look at that game. Oh my goodness. I don't think I Must Feed knew what hit him. That gank push up in the top lane, it just felt awful. We saw the Blessed Shield come out into the Wailing Arrow, and Ana was like, well, I guess I'm dead.
Yeah, 11 kills to 4 in the end there. Very much in their favor. Actually, I'm going to jump back to the stats there before we talk about the talents here. 51,000 damage from Li Ming, 25,000 from Chen, which doesn't seem that high until you consider the fact that the majority of that was probably on Deathwing with all those armor plates, and he was still able to win in lane against him.
Oh, he just kicked his ass. I felt so bad for Sudden Bears. I played some Deathwing earlier today, and I was just like, this feels awful. I played against a Sonya. It's like, I can't do anything, and you can't. Everyone is so scared of Deathwing, and I will say, in the right hands, very devastating Very devastating hero. Not to say that Sudden Bears wasn't the right hands, but sometimes you just get those matchups and you're like, well, I'm a pinata this game.
This is what I feel it must feel like to be a Dungeons and Dragons boss, where you're like an ancient red dragon sitting in your horde, and then someone yells down at you, "Hey prick, want to fight?" And you look down at some drunk ass monk dude, and you're like, "What? Why?" And it's like, "My name is Dildo Baggins," or something like that, and it's just like, this is how I die.
You're just describing the plot of my D&D campaign right now.
All right, we have here are the talents again. Losing that CC cooldown reduction on the Deathwing. I understand the Elementium, but it only really got value in one fight, I'd like to say. But overall, still fantastic job. What really did get the value, like we said, is that Chen. Ring of Fire and Accumulating Flame here really went for that damage output. And Sylvanas really did fantastic damage. 58,000 during that game, really stacking up that Unfurling Shadows.
Definitely. The teams played really well. We're just waiting here for another moment for the map. Looking through the talents, seeing if anything out of the ordinary was picked up. Doesn't look like it. All the builds looking pretty standard.
Yeah.
Is that the push-off stun?
That's a cooldown, and then yes, that is the stun, the 0.5 seconds, which I can see being value against Mal'Ganis.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, Lucio really kind of disrupts Mal'Ganis, and the fact that most of his abilities are wind up. So if you get a knockback or a stun, or if you even just speed away, he's spookily chasing after you, trying, "I'm gonna get ya," and everyone's like, "Oh, that's neat. We're gonna go take this camp."
Very true. Alrighty, let's have a look at the maps as we are getting ready. We don't have our next map yet, but you could already see how we got here. With the bans being on to Alterac Pass, Dragon Shire, Infernal Shrines, and Sky Temple. With our first map being chosen by I Must Feed, which I guess was wrong, because ProBUs Drift got the first pick, so I guess that is wrong, and I will change that. But either way, seeing as ProBUs Drift got the... Wait, no, that's right. Yes, no, I got that the wrong way around. Yes, I'm just an idiot. We good. So yes, ProBUs Drift picked the map, and sorry. I Must Feed picked the map. ProBUs Drift won the map. I have a brain. It works sometime. But we do have our next map here, and we will learn who picked it very shortly. But the map is going to be Towers of Doom.
Towers of Doom is so exciting. I'm hoping for a third game just because I love to watch Heroes of the Storm and play some Heroes of the Storm. Towers of Doom is usually what we go to at the end. What does that say for I Must Feed? Do you think that they're going to bring it back for a game number 2 and we'll go somewhere else? Or do you think the team fight potential of ProBUs will overpower them?
It's very interesting to think about that, because the fact is I Must Feed had some pretty reasonable team fights here, but their map control is actually where they were able to do some really good work here. I'm curious. I am curious if they're going to be able to bring it back. It's going to depend on their draft very much, because they were outdrafted a little bit in the last game. Oh, excuse me, I had a bit of a hiccup there. We'll see if they're able to turn this around. Deathwing is another good hero on this map, and obviously ProBUs' best map was the last one, but this isn't the worst ProBUs map. It's not great, but it's not the worst. So
I mean, you can set up and just fire into bushes, fire around the points. I realize I keep shrugging when you talk, despite the fact that the audience cannot see me. So, yeah. We could see, there was that Towers of Doom game and that Heroes meme compilation the other day with the Dahaka, where he just tongued them into the ProBUs setup, and then the ProBUs lit them up. So if we see that, I'll be very impressed.
All right, looks like ProBUs picked the map, which means I can actually take you back to that screen just for a moment to show you the exact setup. So Towers of Doom is going to be our second map of the day for this series, which means I Must Feed opted for first pick. So let's see if that first pick is going to help them get their way back into this, as we will be preparing for game number 2. Will we have our second three-game series of the night? We'll be finding out shortly. Reminder, everybody, that you're currently watching Nexus Gaming Series Division D East. So these players are up very late.
Yeah, I was telling Tetcher before we started, I'm like, they're starting their game at 7 our time. That's 10. The poor babies. I hope nobody has to work tomorrow. But nobody has to work during the March of the Murlocs. It's happening all across.
Except us. We're working right now.
Yeah.
Because we are determined. And also, for the first time in a really long time, 0 dropped frames. And I know I've jinxed it, but honestly, it feels really good because it happens so rarely. And all right, we're heading into the draft, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump in for game number 2 of our match, ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush versus I Must Feed. We are in, and the draft is racing through. Sylv, Johanna, and Kael'thas all already removed.
The Johanna was too good last game. They don't want to deal with it again. They said, get her out of here. Will we see the Zool once again? Was banned on the side of ProBUs, so they don't really intend to play it. Now, I don't know if that's because they just choose not to, or if it's because they don't think that it will synergize well with what they have planned, and instantly the Li Ming is picked up. Great poke potential on this map.
Very true, but it does leave heroes like Rhaegar, and most importantly, a hero that sort of dropped out of favor on this particular series, Elite Tauren Chieftain, ETC, to be left completely uncontested by either of these teams so far. All shall suffer as Lee Yorick makes his way in with Reyna. Unconventional first picks coming in here.
I'm very surprised to see the early Leoric. Like, that is just big ding energy right there to pick your solo laner very first out the gate. Ana coming in feels very nice to have that Li Ming Ana combo. Just go ahead and nano her, explode the enemy team, just like the Li Ming did last game. So hopefully we'll see some more of that. And ETC, as you just stated, one of the best tanks right now. The only other like triple S tank in the map pool right now. So we're looking at maybe Garrosh, Mal'Ganis, again, Uther. I've said this for like the 100th time today.
We are looking at a really solid draft so far. This is classic standard drafting style. Oh, excuse me, something went down the wrong way there. I'm alive. I must feed Li Ming, nano boosting Ana. That's the wrong way around. Ana nano boosting Li Ming with ETC set up. I'm going to ban out that Jaina, want to remove those slows, but that's already very scary here. So already looking good here. We need some interrupts from ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush.
So far, they do have one with the Raynor penetrating round. We'll see if they pick up more. Most tanks do offer some as well as support. We can see the Lucio again with the big boop. He could knock him back out of it. The Sylvanas. It's going to be a Varian. Interesting.
Varian and Lucio. Now, Lucio can interrupt Mosh Pit, but he has to get real close, and it can be real risky. Varian can't. He physically can't. Uther has a thing where if he stands above Mosh Pit, he can interrupt it. Varian's range is shorter than Uther's stun with his taunt, so he can't interrupt this Mosh Pit here. So Lunara and Imperius is a terrifying finish to this draft for I Must Feed. So far, their draft is pretty standard, but absolutely terrifying. Lunara's a bit out of the ordinary, but it's still good. ProBUs Drift, they don't care. They are not here to counter. They're here to blow up.
One thing I would like to point out is Varian was banned away by the side of I Must Feed last game. So that implies to me that Chaos Tank has shown that they are very comfortable and very solid on this variant. So I'm excited to see what they can do with it, with the Kael'thas. A good Kael'thas feels so bad. I played with one earlier today. We got 11 stacks in a minute, and I was like, come on, man. I can only imagine the enemy team just being like, stop! Let me play the game!
I've been that hero before where you just like, all right, I'm back from spawn. This is not going to happen. Oh, damn it! Every time. Also, for those who don't know, Jixie Cat plays as the tank player on the Ghillie Sharks in Division A East. And you had a game like that recently, where you did just kind of spend all the time in Spawn. The difference is it was intentional, because you were playing Uther and trading out efficiently every single time. Basically the only person in your team to die, in this case on purpose.
100% of the deaths, never forget. Let's go ahead and jump into this game before you bring up any more of my inting.
It was intentional.
It was intentional feeding, I cannot deny that.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Towers of Doom. On the left-hand side, ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush 1-0 up with Aruba playing the Reyna Hirobi on the Kel'Thuzad, Desda on the Lucio, Chaos Tank on the Varian, and Spooky Badgerlord on the Leoric.
And over rocking the orange, it is John Goodman on the ETC. Sudden Bears on that Imperious. Night Night once again playing the Ana. Lister feed on the Lunara. And Miles is the Li Ming.
We're starting up, everyone brawling in the middle. Q Talon, Lions more, charge! Chaos Tank, focus down. Not a hero yet, not level 4.
Oh, you big minion, what are you doing?
He overextends, he wanted stacks, but he gets 2 stacks of Lions more, but ends up being experience going over to I Must Feed. On the right side, Kel'Thuzad got 2 Master of the Cold Dark stacks in the meantime.
Very nicely done. It's not 11 stacks in a minute, but you know what? We'll take it. Lions and Moss, we're probably not going to see twin memes.
Yes, this is basically exclusive to Colossus Smash or Taunt. I've never seen a twin blade. I'd be curious to see one, just for the burst, slow them down and then run them down. The potential is there.
That used to be original Varian when he first came out and he was super OP and you twin blades tank and then everyone would just die and then you do the boss.
Stop letting Varian hit you. I can't.
Back in the day, back when Varian was good. We see both teams stepping up to their camps right now. It's a race down with I Must Feed clearly in the lead. Everybody trying to make sure they don't get hit by the minions, stepping up. And now we might see an invade from the members of I Must Feed.
It feels bad. The Lucio Kel'Thuzad without using abilities camp clear. It's not fast, it's not good, but no one invades. Finally, Aruba comes up to help. He didn't even go Exterminator, by the way. He went ace in the hole, so it wasn't even effective help. But the extra damage was needed, and they finally finished that up. And Varian finally going to pick it up, and this will be Taunt. No surprise there.
Sappers aren't going to get much value as no one is there to protect them, so they're just going to get cleared out really quickly. And now we should see the members of ProBUs walk up and try and grab these front walls. Li Ming comes up. We see a lot of damage onto him. Nobody really trying to step up and protect him. They are the first Sapper, so not the end of the world if they don't get in. And seeing that extra damage, the Sappers will go down.
Yeah, neither team gets them in. Both deflected pretty quickly. Power slide. Oh no, not again. Chaos Tank anti-heal Lunara damage. And that's the joy here. Chaos Tank, until he gets level 10, he can't actually block the Lunara damage, whereas most heroes, you block the damage as it comes in. Lunara's not going to work in that case, so he is struggling a little bit here.
Probably give a slight nod if it does though really quick. We waited for the amp it up until after the anti-heal grenade of the Ana. So like great job there, friends. Taunt comes out, unable to grab anybody.
Lunara finally arriving. She went up to interrupt top lane and get mid XP, but instead has managed to let her team drop very low. Mars be forced to blink away. Hirobi channels in. No one near enough for the interrupt. And that'll be a 2-for-1 trade. The question is, can kills come in? His Chaos Tank is low. Aruba, great engage by Sudden Bears. And the poison from Lunara will finish the job.
Just not enough. You really struggle in fights like that when you don't have the numbers advantage. Nice job by the Kel'Thuzad. But if you're channeling while the team is fighting, then you've inadvertently put yourself in a 3v4, which can be very difficult for your team. And as we saw, Aruba ended up paying the price.
He does go down, poor Aruba. Also, he's gone for sustaining rounds, and people know how I feel about this talent. So I will not go on about it. Chaos Tank needs to leave, and he will do so with utmost expediency.
Team's just trying to keep on the rotations. We do see Aruba in that middle lane, trying to soak some of that XP for the Leoric, who now should be ghosting back up. Haven't seen too much of the solo lane. Imperious stepping up. Leoric, nice Wraith walk away, does not get ganked.
Roll back up, misses some experience. Actually, he might not even miss some experience. Lunara's clearing this so fast. Yeah, he's going to just get all this.
A little bit of a fight down on the bot lane. Chaos Tank taking a little bit of damage. Has to be boosted away. Is put to sleep. But the team does not choose to engage on that. So they're just going to go ahead and try and grab these sappers. Nicely done. Great job, by the way, can I say, for clearing this Wisp. In our last series, so many times the team walked by the Wisp and just left it. And I was like, just hit it. Like Reyna would walk by and I was like, your auto attack is literally 1 second. It literally takes 2 seconds to clear it.
Just hit it, Fivehead. You're gonna see the sappers making their way in for both teams as the objective shall spawn John Goodman stun onto Chaos Tank, who's really having a rough time so far. He really is going to need that shield wall. Aruba, though, good damage. Oof, Hirobi hit by the orb, and that was max range for Triumphate. Going to be used there for the cooldown. Will not land a second, though.
Oh, I clenched there. I thought for sure that orb was going to connect. I thought that ProBUs had the better pick on this shrine, but it looks like they are going to be chased out. Leoric should go down to the poison damage from Lunara. It's close. Oh, darn. So close.
He is extra spooky now. He has perished. He will go down. The shots go over to I Must Feed, and living up to the name, John Goodman steps into tower range for what I can only assume to be memes.
They tried to slide and unfortunately just came up short. And that's the worst as an ETC, when you slide and you think you're going to get them and you just fall short. So then you just get hit by both the towers and then you die.
Drop the face mode. It's like, please, no. Towers coming in here, anti-heal. Clearing out the minions, no damage to heroes yet. So they are able to get a little bit of damage on the way out. Good orb from Li Ming though. But level 10 creeping in for both teams. Almost here.
They're just trying to get as much XP as they can. Haven't seen too much of this once again. Imperius doing their best to bully Badger Lord. However, Badger Lord is not falling for it. He's stepping back, making sure he doesn't get hit by the Q. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we see a little bit of a fight. Aruba in a terrible position. They're stuck out by the team, has to wrap around. Lucio able to boost them to safety. Chaos Tank gets a taunt onto Miles. However, there is no follow-up, so they're just going to go ahead and back up. ETC jumps in. Hirobi getting a little bit of damage. Yeah, I agree. We're just going to let that slide.
Not going to land it this time, but with level 10s now available for both teams. We've already seen Wave of Force get used here. And of course, for Varian, as you can't see that one, it is Shield Wall. He needs it. He definitely needs it.
Let's take a look at the Kel'Thuzad stocks. And we're sitting at 12.
Not bad.
Not bad. Once they get that power spike, they will be a lot more devastating. They've been hitting to their best at their abilities. You guys, you see the eye. Hit the Wisp!
They found it. They found it. Chaos Tank picks up the Wisp. Vision is denied. So instead, Li Ming sends out the damage. They move in. John Goodman trying to delay. Sudden Bears rotating in from above. Chaos Tank is very separated from his team. But look at this. He's in position to maybe lock down Miles, and no one is close to him to follow up. He drops the shield wall, wraps round. They're looking for the right target here. He charges in for Lister Feed. Where's the DPS follow-up? Nothing. Runes the land. Mosh Pit comes out. No counter. And down goes the Varian. And
Power
everyone
Slide
else
takes out another 2 members, and this is going to be I Must Feed picking up and securing this bell tower. It's a lot different from game number 1. They seem to have settled their nerves. Oh my gosh.
Here we go. I believe he has to hit it to get the cooldown reduction, so we can't do that again. So Miles will channel this in. Delay did happen, but unable to get it. Did Kel'Thuzad get any stacks during that? No. That feels pretty rough here.
I Must Feed took the fight very well. They spread out to make sure that exactly that Kel'Thuzad couldn't get any stacks, and they did a great job of isolating the Varian. ETC waiting very patiently to try and find the perfect slide, and then followed up with a 3-man mosh pit. We saw a little bit of damage come out, but unfortunately the team was just too split on the side of ProBUs to do much.
I understand what Varian was going for. It feels bad to focus at ETC and just taunt him, and you really want to get that Lunara or that Li Ming. But in this case, he ran so far past ETC that in order to get damage onto his taunt target, the enemy team had to walk into mosh pit range. Sorry, his team had to walk into mosh pit range. In this case, if that's the situation, it's worth either waiting or actually taunting the ETC, which it looks like he's going to do now. They're going to try and blow him up. They land the taunt. There's no Fissure coming out from Kel'Thuzad though, and the damage is nowhere near enough to kill off John Good, but great power slide as Hirobi, Sound Barrier, is going to be used by Save His Life. Heal, Lucio! No, you're speed boosting! Lucio, swap to heals! There's the fountain! He finally swaps to heals, and Hirobi will live.
Great job. I understand the team, they don't want to focus too much onto ETC, but ETC is a very squishy tank. He gains a lot from the armor on his abilities, and therefore his health will suffer. So if you can blow him up or lock him down so he can't use any of his abilities, he just pops. I don't think that it's too much to ask that they try and focus on the front line a little bit, especially since they do have some really strong tank-busting champions like the Rainer, who can sit back safely and ping. They just gotta go for it. They leave. Oh, no. The W.
Counter synergy, Chaos Stack got the run, good route coming in as they will retreat here. Hirobi trying to get any kind of disengage as possible. We do see Chains of Ice out for Kel'Thuzad, really trying to set up for his team as they finally hit level 13. Good interrupt from Badgerlord. He will delay this channel, and it is a double channel situation. Are they going to be able to get either of them? Because right now, ProBUs Counter on the back foot. Another route from Kel'Thuzad with no follow-up.
Teams both just trying to pick each other off. Varian in a really rough spot. They do have protection to try and save his life. However, Kel'Thuzad coming in clutch, able to protect the team. And
Tomb looking good. Blowing up ETC, taking him out with Moshpit available. This is much better, but Desda deleted by Listerfiend, and Chaos Stack dropping to that Lunara damage, but Li Ming taken out as well.
This should, I don't know actually. It's 3 for 2 right now. Badgerlord is healthy enough that they could potentially tank a little bit. Chaos Tank is back now. And with so many squishy members of the team left, it looks like Feed are just going to concede this altar.
Yeah, even with so many low health bars, Aruba's full, and there's so much that Lunara could do.
Full.
There's so many, yeah, was full. Lunara, great job there. There's only so much she could do, though. With Anna available as well, they had to back that up. They were outnumbered, but now they've left the time long enough. They're going to try and contest. This chain does not land. Wow, he just went for everything there. John Goodman comes in. Remember, he has Moshpit still available. Was not used when he was slain. Hirobi taken down as Listerfiend comes flying into the fight.
Little bit of a greedy play by ProBUs. They were very low and the team had to respawn. They decided to take it. They should have just cut their losses. Said, you know what, we got the bottom one, we got the good fight, let's find something else. And now they're going to cede not only this middle bell tower, but also their sapper camp. With such a low fort, we could see the members of Feed taking this bottom bell tower.
We see Sudden Bears clearing out the mid lane, trying to get XP. Badgerlord doing the same for top lane. Like you said, Feed in the bottom lane is where their targeting is focused. They want to finish off this fort. You can see the massive damage coming in from Lunara. Moshpit is good. Where are the interrupts? He finally gets the boot, but the reset's already come out. Master Cold Dark finishes, but at the cost of Reyna's life.
Oh gosh, I want to say suppression pulse, but I know that's not right. Wave of Force, there we go. Just a tad too late for the poor Rainer. The Lunar was already in position, and as such, he just died. There wasn't a whole lot they could do. We see Lunara jumping over, trying to grab these sappers. They can maybe look to push him in as we see 3 members just defending this fort. This should be the rest of the game, honestly. If you can keep this bottom fort, you can basically just win the Towers of Doom.
That is the plan here. They picked it up. Nature's Culling was the talent I was looking for earlier. Lining to clear this up so quickly with sappers on the way. Li Ming is just yeeting shit from max range. Shade comes out.
Oh my
Beautiful.
goodness.
Nicely executed. And that is the power of Kel'Thuzad and Stitches and heroes of that ilk, where it only takes one. Shade comes in, roots Fissure, but it is ETC as he pulls back. Aruba taking that tower aggro is forced to retreat.
Nicely done by the Kel'Thuzad. They have their stacks completed, and now they're doing just so much damage. It's almost unreasonable. Fighting under the towers is a little bit risky. John Goodman looking a little bit rough. Teams trying to poke it down. They do clear the sappers, so they don't have to worry about those going in. Meanwhile, Leoric and Imperius just getting the bell towers. I didn't even realize that they had spawned. We were heading down to the middle, and nobody's going to contest him.
John Goodman being focused down. Can they finish the job? Only Lucio is focusing him. They are trying to get around. Miles with Nano Boost, though, sneaks around the bell tower and blows one up. One more Calamity. Desda and Aruba are forced to back up. That's a double shots coming in for Feed with, sorry, double for ProBUs Drift here. It's ended up being a 6 for 5 in ProBUs' favor. And now, Kel'Thuzad, his bird is phylactery. He's returning here. They want to try and maybe take a fight in this bottom lane.
Looks like the team is going to maybe stay around. We have Honestly Mig, not the most superior defense squad, as ETC is going back probably to tap. Yep, we see his mana has refilled. This will give the teams an opportunity to step up. Varian trying to take a little bit of that tower aggro, and they're just going to go ahead and try and reclaim it.
Chains down. Root does not, though, and John Goodman powers through. He still has Mosh. They have to be careful around him. Remember, their interrupts is boot and penetrating around as another orb hits Hirobi. This bell tower, though, is about to fall. Aruba does some great damage to Miles, and that will likely be the end of this unless Son of Bears gets a multi-man stun. Good! Boom! Interrupts it, but it's a 10-second cooldown, and they're able to survive. But the great Root coming in from Kel'Thuzad, and Son of Bears is killed off.
Arrow, thank you so very much for the raid. As we see the teams pushed out, they were able to recapture this bell tower. Ana goes down in the entomb. Nicely done by Badger Lord. We are in game number 2 of ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush versus I Must Feed.
Camp being cleared up by ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush. This game has been back and forth, the Jinxie, as they are holding it together. Both teams pretty close in experience, maybe a quarter of a level lead in between them. ProBUs Drift a little bit ahead. They've been able to reclaim their bottom lane, and we're seeing both teams commit to their own altars. But it's a 3 versus 5. Finally, we're going to see ProBUs Drift play aggressively. Chain comes out, and ETC is in trouble. There's the taunt. CC Chain choo-choo as ETC is taken off the map.
They're not even going to get their own altar. They have to give it up. ProBUs Drift very dominating this game. They're just coming in and deleting the ETC. Like I said, he doesn't have the greatest amount of health. And now they're going to look the boss to push that lead even further.
They are going to take their opponents. I Must Feed down to 10 core health. No one in range to contest that at all. Very nicely done. And ProBUs Drift looking a little shaky in that bottom lane, able to capitalize, pick up the kills when they need them, and now they're beginning to snowball. Mercenaries on the left, on the right, 1 minute 30 seconds left. If they can clear this up, that means those mercenaries will be able to help push core if they can guide them in. But first, they've got to actually take some bell tower damage.
Team's looking to just step up, and a good point. I hadn't even noticed that they have only gotten one tower down here in the bottom. It looks like they're going to try and escort the sappers, clear the minions fairly easily. Members of I Must Feed creeping down. Imperius still in the top lane. We haven't really seen much of Imperius at all this game. Sappers are going to go in, no problem. And at 17 minutes into the game, that tower is gonzo.
Level 20 advantage, but no minions, no mercenaries. ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush, they want to move forward. Nice, already Phylactery recharge. That's kind of insane. It's really fast.
That was really quick. It only took about 2 minutes.
Also, want to point out, no unfair advantage. Went for the percentage damage with the invigorating spores instead. Very cool to see here. As he does want to try and blow up those 2 tanks instead of going for that massive AoE slow style that we saw in the previous game. But Intensifying Toxin will make up for some of that AoE damage. And they're going to trade?
We've seen Lunara this entire game just kind of beat the crap out of Varian. Anytime they go in, oh my goodness, Badger Lord, nice Wraith Walk, spooks away. Kel'Thuzad is going to grab this top.
Oh my god, Chaos Tank is eaten alive! Focus down, Hirobi, he's back though, Chain, buried alive, but no body blocks, doesn't lock him down. John Goodman, he's looking for Aruba here. Aruba is isolated from his team, he will die here. Nano Boost Miles trying to pick up Badger Lord, and Aruba, is he going to get a body? Yes, yes he will, he will escape. But that was still damage to the core here. Finally comes the counter damage. Like you said, Kel'Thuzad was uncontested in that middle area. He got the shots, bringing them down to 6 health on the core. Here comes the counter 4, bringing them down to 15. But ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush is still in the lead, but losing Varian right now means they have lost map control.
I didn't even get to finish my thought. Like, I'm still so baffled. What happened to Varian? like they were fine. And then I saw them shoot across from the displacement of the wave of force, and then they were dead.
Yeah.
Just the intensifying toxin percent damage coming out, I suppose. It was just really interesting to see. Nice healthy Varian, and then all of a sudden he's gone.
Yep, Leeming hits everything off of the repulsion. Was beautifully done here, and you mentioned it perfectly. Those 2 talents in synergy allowed him to pick up. And Varian, you can see him right at the end of his life there. He drops the shield ward. He's like, yeah, I'm alive with 12 hit points in the enemy team. Oh no, and gets focused down beautifully. Very nicely done, I must feed. And now they have their chance to try and make a comeback here as John Goodman sets up. By the way, John Goodman, death metal at the ready. He knows he's like the only viable target, so why not punish Varian?
Definitely. Both tanks really getting punished this game. I think they have the most deaths in the game. We can go ahead and take a look.
You are correct. 3 and 3.
3 and 3, very, very well. However, ETC's death is a little bit more meaningful than Varian's right now. If he goes in and dies, it's not the end of the world. You get the death metal. Maybe you can pick some kills off behind of it.
Move forward. Power slide. Mosh pit is used. Interrupt so fast. Though buried alive. It's everyone except Night Knight. John Goodman sniped by Lucio, who's having a solo dance party because everyone else is dead. Desta, his team survives. They rush it in. And with the double channel, that's all it takes. Leoric channeling in. That's going to be game.
That was a really great series. I didn't know who was going to pick it up. Either way, both teams, I was like, it's going to be this team. No, it's going to be this team. It's going to be this team. So well done to both teams. I think they did a really great job. I was skeptical of the Varian, especially with how early they died off, in how much they died off in the early game, but it came to pay well. Taking a look at this 13-11, very close game.
That was such a snowball there. It looked bad. There was a great little sound barrier, but all it took was the 4-man buried alive. We already know it's a game-changing talent, but poor Night Knight, the only person on the outside of that, and then Kel'Thuzad. You can't dodge his abilities if you're inside the entomb. He gets focused down. Kel'Thuzad blast everyone except ETC, because ETC, ironically, the only person with enough hit points to survive the burst.
Yeah, you hate to see that. The mosh pit looked good at first, but the nice repulsion by Li Ming stopped that really quick and just set up that perfect buried alive, like you said, Tetcher. We'll go ahead and take a look at the talents really quickly. If you want to talk to the members of ProBUs Drift, see if anybody wants to get in here for an interview.
Absolutely. Let me message Miles and let me find Miles's messages and ask.
Message Miles. That's the.
That is correct. That's the wrong chat. That is the wrong chat. So let's go for who did I message on here? I believe it was Chaos Tank. Who do I have here? It was Desda. Alrighty.
All right. So while we get that message set up, we'll just go ahead and take a look at these talents. Everything looking pretty standard. We see Sudden Bears with the Fervor of Battle. That's the cleave on the auto attacks when you activate it. Holy Fervor, that's the name. Nice try, got a lot of damage out, but I don't think that Imperius was really able to come to the team enough. That was one of the nice things of having the Leoric, is he was able to double soak far more efficiently.
Very true, was able to do a fantastic job there. And the double soak allowed them to get to the late game with Kel'Thuzad. And late game Kel'Thuzad is where he pops off, especially with that power of Ice Crown. And that's where we started to see everything snowball in their favor there. We do have someone for the interview, so allow me to let them know the room.
Have be joined by Chaos Tank here in a moment. We'll just go ahead and get set up.
I've lost the... There we go. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. There we go. Alrighty, so we will have Chaos Tank in just a moment, everybody. And we'll be able to jump into that interview. Feels good. But yeah, like you said, oh, well, I was about to keep talking, but we do, in fact, have we have Tempest Jet, as he's described here.
Hello?
Hello, I assume you are Chaos Tank in disguise.
I am. I have many names.
Congratulations on your victory. How are you feeling after that dominant 2-0 series?
We're pretty pleased with ourselves. I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, you played fantastically well. There were a couple occasions where it looked shaky from our end. Is there anything that stands out there where you were a little worried or something went quite wrong?
Not super. I definitely feel like Game 2 was much more of a struggle than Game 1 was.
There was
they
some
really
good
put up a
moshes in
fight
that
there.
game.
Definitely. So, game number 1, you guys had a pretty dominant series, but I have to ask, was there anything, did you know that the Deathwing was coming? Were you worried about it at all? Because at that point, you guys hadn't drafted really a whole lot of percent damage.
We really hadn't, and normally I don't mind the Deathwing. I think he's finally been nerfed to the point where he's not super oppressive anymore. He doesn't need a distinct counter, so I oftentimes will let him through. We will sometimes play Deathwing ourselves, so it's that little game of chicken where I'm not gonna ban him. Are you guys going to?
Definitely. And we saw Badger Lord, who the chat had mentioned is a certified Chen god, just bullying him. Tell us a little bit about the Chen. Is that a preferred pick that you guys like to play? Is it a comfort?
Badger likes his Chen quite a bit. I would say that it's a comfort pick, and it's a bit it's a fun little ace in the hole, because when you count the number of solo laners that you see most commonly, Chen isn't, top 5 or anything, so sometimes people don't have an answer for him. But he just really likes his Pandaren. He was actually saying right before game that 90% of his WoW tunes are Pandaren. So.
Alrighty, so moving into game number 2, you guys ran with 2 interrupts into a mosh pit, one of them being Lucio. Is that just confidence in playing around it? Because your positioning was good, and rarely more than 2 people were caught in the mosh pit. What is the planning behind that?
Yeah, we kind of knew that was their win condition, and we were calling out in chat that, spread out, don't get hit by it, and obviously he did get a pretty big, I think 3 people in it once, and that was a little bit of a awkward moment because we're all calling out about it and we got hit by it regardless. But I think we wisened up after that.
Yeah, definitely. The wave of force coming out was really insane, and then in that final moment, you got that 4-man entomb. You guys must have been over the moon.
That might have been play of the game.
I would agree.
I have to give Badger a lot of credit for that.
If someone wants to clip that and put that in the play of the games, I will not object. I think that was pretty mental. I want to ask you about the Varian. Varian is a tank we see from time to time, but not too often. You did have a little bit of trouble being the focus, obviously, in the early to mid game, but in the late game you did well. So talk me through the Varian. What is the preference there? How well do you feel it did against what was quite a high CC burst team?
Oh, well, Varian struggles a bit in the early game. There's the joke that he's not a real boy until level 4.
Yeah.
And we knew that going in. We also knew that Kel'Thuzad struggles a little bit in the early game, so we kind of planned around the fact that, yes, the early game is where we're going to be a little bit weaker, but we're just going to prepare for the later game. And the early game didn't go quite as hard on us as we, kind of were bracing for. We got the first 2 out of 3 altars, and that felt really good with a game that kind of shines in the late game, so...
That's true. That's fair enough. So, I don't have any more questions. Do you have any more?
So we asked this to everybody. Anybody you're nervous to fight or to compete against as the season starts to kind of wrap up? Anybody you want to call out? Now's your time to make threats, talk some crap.
Shit talk anyone before the playoffs. Who you feeling?
Or if you want to give credit, nod to somebody who's done really well and you're excited to play against.
I don't know if I really want to smack talk anyone.
Fair enough.
This is actually our first match win of the season, so a couple of them have been, very hard fought. A couple of them have been nail biters, but the record doesn't really give us too much leeway to smack talk anyone. There are some good feelings all around. Aruba and I have played in NGS in the past, and so we know a lot of the other players. It was very nice to play against Night and suddenly Bears tonight. We sometimes run into them in Hero League, and it's always nice to, or Storm League rather, nice to see familiar faces.
Definitely.
And we were caught the end of your game right before this. We're looking forward to facing Church of Murky. I was explaining that back when I was an offlaner, me and Redbeard had a little bit of a rivalry there, and we're familiar with Orion too. And yeah, so there's the whole team. Everyone in the NGS is great. We love everyone.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. It's a really great community. So before we,
I
you
did
look like
have
you
one
have
more
something
question.
to say.
I have
Yes.
one more question that I forgot to ask. Where ProBUs?
He's our ace in the hole. He's also our mascot. If you look at our emblem, our insignia, he's building pylons. So he's
Yeah.
busy back at the
Setting up.
base mining those minerals.
All right. So yeah, Dakota.
Yeah, I was just going to ask if you had any shout outs you'd like to shout before you go and celebrate with your team. Congratulations on your very first win. I want to say you keep playing like this. I definitely see many more in your future. You guys did a really
Agreed.
great job today.
Oh yeah, it's our very first season playing together,
Nice.
and so we're really happy about the win. Really hoping we had a little bit of a rocky start to start out the season, and I'm hoping this is the beginning of a turnaround. So shout outs to everyone on my team. Thank you, Badger, for that play of the game in Tomb. Shout outs to Dez for keeping me alive. Those sound barriers were money tonight. Both of our damage, Aruba and Hirobi, were great. Shout outs to the original ProBUs team, who's now in Division C. So we got this far playing with a lot of those guys. A lot of them are in chat tonight cheering
Yeah,
us
you
on.
guys have a really big chat following.
We do. We actually, before this team was made in the off season, we had what was called Big Tent ProBUs, where we were playing with 2 to 3 to 4 different teams, and we were all kind of mixing and matching. And so we've got a lot of people backing us up, a lot of talent to draw from. And yeah, thank you guys for being out here and cheering us on tonight. It means a lot. And thank you for you guys for picking up the cast.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for being so patient. I know we were a couple of minutes late.
Yeah, thank you for being patient.
No-
and thank
no
you for
worries.
the fantastic games. They were very entertaining to watch. Apologies for the doggo, but again, thank you very much. It was our pleasure.
Yep. And one last shout out to I Must Feed. You guys were a good game. You really gave it to us. GG's, guys.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for jumping on with us, and we hope to be casting you in the future and wish you good luck.
Yeah, have a
Would
great
love that.
rest of
Thank
your
you,
night.
guys.
Congratulations again.
Alrighty. See you later. Alright. Speaking of seeing you all later, that is the end of our stream. We did our double feature.
Yeah, we did, and only a couple of minutes over. Not so bad.
Wasn't so bad at all. We were only technically 1 minute over at the end of our previous series.
Yeah, but some of us had to go potty, so
Yeah,
it happens.
We're humans with human biological needs, as it turns out. We're not just the casting machines that we appear as, despite our perfection. Alright, but everybody, we hope you all enjoyed the show. We just want to say thank you all for watching tonight. Thank you to Jhow and Aero for the raids earlier on. Thank you to everyone who has followed. If you have enjoyed the show, maybe drop a follow so that you can see when we go live with more stuff. Sometimes we will be here, and sometimes we will be on twitch.tv/JinxieCat, which I'm going to write the spelling of that 30 seconds ago in the past in the chat so that you can see that and follow that stream as well, so you can see more casting from myself and Jinxie here. And if you really enjoyed, maybe consider a sub or a donation. I don't have alerts set up here, so unfortunately that we don't have that here yet.
We'll shout you out at the next
We
stream.
will. That's a good deal, which is even more reason to sign back in. Feels good. And of course, if you really enjoyed, you can check us out when we do other things. Every Monday and Saturday, we play Dungeons and Dragons, where on Monday, I DM as the Dungeon Master, and on Saturdays on Jinxie's channel, she DMs and is the Dungeon Master with such players like Bahamut, Stark from the Gilly Sharks, Weenus, the moistest one, Cat Peach, such an amazing player base. And on my Monday games, we have Kendrick Swish, Crowan, Faye, and Jinxie as the players. Very entertaining. You have to follow those streams so that you keep an eye out on where we are, and drop subs if you've had a good time.
All right, I'm looking to see if
It's a good idea.
anybody is available to stream. So we have two choices right now. We can go to Moist Venus's Jackbox stream for his birthday, and you guys can all give him a big moist happy birthday. Or we can go watch Murda, who is casting some NGS again.
I think birthday takes priority there, so let's do
Alright.
that. Is it moist dash weenus?
It's just moist weenus.
Moist weenus.
All
Like
right,
that?
we'll get you next time, Murda. Yep, that looks right.
Alrighty, sounds good. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. We'll be back next time. Hope you've all enjoyed the show. And we'll see you all for the next cast, whether it'll be on mine or Jixie's channel, which is why you have to follow both so you can see. Also, at Tetcher on Twitter, at JixieCat on Twitter, so you can find out more that way too.
All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Have a good rest of your evening. We will be back on Saturday over on my channel once again. Have a great rest of your night.
See you later. Bye.